So we're going to work on, I'm going to break down in practice today, chaturanga, and our peak pose is going to be crow. So building to arm balancing, right? So the idea, it doesn't matter if you get there, it doesn't matter what it looks like. The idea is I want you to start to feel in your body what it feels like to feel some strength in this position. So, yeah. So if there's questions that come up for you during practice, for those who have kind of just signed in, because I'm using my mic, I don't have a speaker, so I can't hear you. So if you need me, just like wave me down, because I'm watching you guys today. If you have questions or things that come up about the practice that you want to discuss, we can start our 11:30 session with that, for sure. And we actually will break down the practice a little bit. But we're going to start this morning in child's pose. So picking whatever variation of child's pose works for you. Maybe the knees are wide, maybe the knees are together, somewhere in between. And just finding, if you will, your own ability to kind of be grounded and connected with the earth based on the surface that you're on. If you need extra padding, that's fine. Sometimes blocks are nice for underneath the forehead, especially early in practice. And just beginning to settle into your practice, settling into your child's pose. Starting to find your breath, noticing the experience of the body right now. And can you send the breath into the back of the body? Can you start to feel some space across the back? Maybe the low back, the mid back, the back of the rib cage, maybe even the back of the neck. And can you feel what it's like to be connected to the earth? And can you bring to your mind's eye, drawing into your own brain, what it would feel like to be strong? What would strength feel like to you? As you become aware of what strength feels like, of what strong feels like for you, can you begin to feel the strength in your own body? Can you walk the hands away and press down into the palms of the hands, pressing down into the pads of the fingers? Start to find the strength in your arms. As you press down, activating the arms just a little bit more. And can you find the strength by hugging the knees isometrically together, so you turn on the inner leg line, as if you're squeezing a block between your legs? Can you feel the strength there? With the rhythm of your breath and the strength of your body. On your next inhale, can you press down into your hands, press down into your shins, and come forward to all fours. Take a pause here. And then inhale as the tail lifts, the belly drops down, the heart comes forward. Press into the hands as you exhale. Draw the tail under, gaze comes in towards the navel, drawing the belly up towards the spine. Inhale as you arch, the tail lifts, the heart comes forward. Exhale, press into the hands and round. 2 more rounds here. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Inhale, arch. In this place, feel the strength of your low back muscles. Feel them turn on as the belly drops down and the tail lifts. And then when you exhale, can you feel the strength of your belly muscles, of your rectus abdominis, pulling the navel in, squeezing the ribcage towards the pelvis. As you inhale, come back to table here. And let's set up the hands like we love to do anytime we're on our hands. So let's press into the pads of the fingertips until maybe those are fingers, the fingers start to bend. So as you press down into the pads of the fingertips, including the thumb and the pinky, maybe the knuckles of the fingers start to pop up. But can you keep the knuckles at the base of the fingers down? Can you grip the earth and turn on the forearms just a little bit more? With this engagement, let the chest sink down, squeeze the shoulder blades together. This is retraction of the scapula, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then can you press into the hands, fill up the upper back, and move the shoulder blades apart. This is called protraction. Inhale, retraction, let the shoulder blades squeeze together, the chest sinks through. And then exhale as you protract. 2 more. Inhale, retract, squeeze together. Exhale, press apart, protract. Last one here. Inhale, retract. And exhale, protract. Come back to center. Just take a pause here. Maybe circle the wrists a little. 1 and then the other. And see if you can find that strength again. Pads of the fingers press down, knuckles press down. Maybe the heel of the hand gets a little bit light. Can you lift the tail, a little anterior tilt through the pelvis, the low belly, turning the low back muscles on, and then can you press into the hands and move the shoulder blades apart. Curl the toes under and come up and back to down dog. So it's hard to stay in that place with a little bit of back bend in the low back and filling up of the upper back. You can keep the knees bent as we start, maybe pedaling out one and then the other. And then inhale, come forward to plank pose. Take a pause, fill up through the upper back. Bring the knees down and hips to heel, child's pose. So just taking the weight off of the wrists, taking the pressure off of the building the strength in the arms. On the next inhale, come forward to all fours. Grip through the earth once again with the hands and up and back to down dog. Roll forward to plank pose and pause. Can you press down into the hands and fill up through the upper back? Can you firm up through the legs? And can you squeeze the legs isometrically together? So that means you don't move, but you're squeezing together. And then knees down, hips to heels, child's pose. Let's move through 2 more rounds like that. Inhale, all fours, hands and knees, arch. And exhale, up and back, down dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose, pause. Knees down, hips to heels, child's pose. Take a full breath in here, and a full breath out. Inhale, forward to all fours. Grip the earth. Exhale, up and back, down dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. Knees down, exhale, child's pose. I feel like knees start to add a little wrist movement in, everything pops. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. Get off the wrists for a little while. On the next inhale, let's come forward to all fours. Curl the toes and come up and back to down dog. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale as you step or walk the feet to the front of the mat. Let's take a fold here. So let the knees be soft. Press down through the heels. Let the rib cage come to the thighs. Let the head release down towards the earth. Maybe the hands just release towards the ground. Maybe you take your hands and you sweep them behind the calves or behind the knees. And just the knees can be really bent here. This is not about the back of the legs and the hamstrings. This is about the upper back. On the next inhale, can you fill up through the upper back and move the shoulder blades a little bit further apart so that the shoulder blades slide further away from each other and around towards the front. So together would be squeezing, would be retraction, protraction would be apart, like the movement and you give someone a hug. Release the hands towards the earth if they're not already there, and inhale as you lengthen to a flat back, look forward. Exhale as you step the left foot back. Left knee comes down here. We'll bring the hands up to that front thigh. Press down through the front heel, and then isometrically hug the knees towards each other. So as if you're trying to pull the back knee forward. Keep pressing down through that front heel. Maybe just start to get a little bit longer. Rib cage starts to climb away from the pelvis. You can press down into the leg. And then slowly releasing the hands down. Lift the back knee and we'll step it forward. Inhale, lengthen out, flat back. Exhale, fold. One more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the right foot back. Right knee comes down here. Climb the hands to that front thigh once again. Front knee. Press straight down through the front heel, and then drag the knees, the knee and foot towards each other. So back knee tries to drag in, heel tries to drag back, press down, grow taller. Use your hands to lift the ribs away from the pelvis. Maybe the arms come to the sky, maybe you stay right here. Let the hands down. This time we'll step it back to plank. Take a pause, press in. Knees down, child's pose. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, down dog. Reach the right leg back here as you inhale. Get long through the right side body. Kick the right heel away. And then hug the knee in, almost fell over. Step the right foot forward. So again, crawl the hands back up, stack the hands up on that front thigh. Let your torso be a little bit forward, that's fine. And then press down into the front heel. Hug the feet isometrically towards each other once again. And this time as you press down into the hands, can you fill up your upper back? Just like we did in plank pose. Can you move the shoulder blades away from each other? And as you move the shoulder blades away from each other, can you draw the shoulder blades down? So they come down and maybe they move away from each other again. Maybe they draw down another little smidge, move away from each other again. One more breath here. Let the hands down. And step back down dog. Reach the left leg to the sky as you inhale. Get long through the left side body here. Maybe a little turn out of the thigh bone, a lengthen through this left side. And then hug the knee in, step the left foot through. Same thing here, climb the hands up to the knee. So while you're here, press down into the front heel, and drag the feet towards each other. So that's setting your foundation. Press the hands to the front thigh. Hold the belly back, fill up through the upper back. And what tends to happen is the shoulders rise up. There's nothing wrong with that, but we want to draw the shoulders down this time. So can you draw the shoulder blades down? And then can you move them apart? Take one more breath here. Put the hands down. Step back, down dog. Let's take a moment here in down dog and pedal up. Shifting one way, one leg, and then the other. From here, inhale, reach the right leg back behind. Hug the knee in, step the right foot through. Press straight down to that front heel, rise up, high lunge, and then open up here to warrior two. So let that back heel drop down and reset the foundation, this time in warrior two. So press down into the front heel, pull the legs together. From this place, can you reach the arms straight out to the horizon? On the next inhale, the shoulders draw up towards the ears. And as you exhale, can you press the shoulder blades down the back, create more space? Cool, the shoulder blades drawing down. Can you internally rotate the arm? So that means the bicep rolls down towards the ground. Maybe the palm of the hand rolls back behind you, thumbs facing down. And then as you externally rotate, you come the other way. So the thumbs rotate around, up towards the sky and back. Let's do that again. Internally rotate. Hands roll down, biceps roll down. And then externally rotate. Thumbs roll up and back, biceps roll back. One more, internal. And external, good. So maintain that external rotation here. Keep turning the palms towards the sky. Keep rolling the biceps back. And then draw the shoulder blades down Now let the hands sweep out in front of you, front of the chest, palms facing up, as if you're holding a serving tray. So press the shoulder blades down once again, and then can you move the shoulder blades away from each other on your back? So if this is your shoulder blades, they move like this around the back. So that might mean your hands reach out. And then can you bring the elbows together? As you bring the elbows together, can you reach the hands a little further? Can you press the shoulders down one more time? And can you feel the strength in your shoulder girdle, in your upper back? Slowly releasing the arms back out to warrior two position. And then cartwheel the hands down. Step back plank. Knees down, child's pose. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, down dog. Reach the left leg back behind as you inhale. Hug the knee in, step the left foot through. So as we rise up, we press down into the front heel. I'm going to let the back heel drop, finding that warrior two position. You stay where you are, I'm going to move. So first press down into the front heel, that would be the left heel, and then hug the feet towards each other. So the inner leg line is active, your foundation is solid. Then reach your arms out. From this place, can you draw the shoulders up by the ears? And then can you press the shoulder blades down? Now let's do that internal or external rotation again. So we internally rotate, palms go back, thumbs down, biceps roll down, externally rotate. Internal rotation, external rotation. One more. Internal, external. Pause here, reach away, sweep the arms in front of you. So pinky fingers come together at first maybe, and then shoulder blades press down, hands reach away. Now can you squeeze the elbows towards each other? Keep reaching away with the hands, keep squeezing the elbows towards each other. Pressing the shoulder blades down, we're going to want to rise up. Take one more breath here. And then release the arms back out. Feel the lightness in your arms because of the strength of the shoulders. And then cartwheel down. Step it back here. Plank. Knees down, child's pose. Let's take a few breaths here. In these few breaths, just start to tune into that strength that resides within you. Okay? That place of strength and understanding, your ability to make it through anything. Okay? On the next inhale, can you find your way forward to all fours? Curl the toes under and come up and back to down dog. Press down into the hands once again. Find that strength in the hands. Reach the right leg back behind. Inhale here. Exhale, hug the right knee in towards the right elbow and just pause. Can you get the knee to come forward? Can you pull the foot all the way into the butt? Then step the right foot forward. Just a little hip flexor activation happening. Press down to that front heel. Rise up, first high lunge, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the front palm here and inhale, reverse. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Let's move through this little flow here. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Can you pause here in side angle and bring the left hand to the back of the head? Hug the elbow forward, so it's in by your ear. And then take the elbow, that's this thing, and reach it up towards the sky. Then press the elbow straight back so the armpit goes straight back. It's gonna drop down a little bit, that's okay. Then take that left hand, drop back down by the hip, reach it back behind you, and can you hug the shoulder head back a little bit more so across the chest opens? Can you take the bottom arm and reach it straight out in front? Take one breath here. And then release the hands down towards the ground. Step back, down dog. Come forward to plank pose. Knees down, child's pose. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, up and back to down dog. Reach the left leg back here as you inhale. Hug the left knee towards the left elbow. So squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Can you make contact? Can you squeeze the foot in towards the butt? Then step the left foot through. Press straight down into that front heel and rise up here to high lunge. Open up Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Flip the front palm, reverse, inhale. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh. Move through this flow a few times. So inhale. And exhale. Moving with your breath, inhale back. And exhale forward. One more. Take a pause here again, side angle. Take this upper hand, this right hand comes behind the head, elbow hugs forward. Shoulder, elbow reaches towards the sky as you come up, and then shoulder hugs straight back. Then take the right arm, sweep it down by your hip, reach away from you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open across the chest. Reach the arms straight. Can you feel the strength of your tricep, the back of your arm? Inhale here. Oh, take the bottom arm out in front, sorry. We won't stay here forever, one breath. Then cartwheel the hands down, set it back to plank. Knees down, child's pose. Let's take a pause here. Take a few breaths. On the next inhale, we'll come forward to all fours. And then if you're able to, we'll come down on the belly. If you're not, you can stay on hands and knees. We're gonna do the exact same thing. I'll cue it from both places. So on the belly, the hands will come down just outside your shoulders. Now what's gonna happen, just let the shoulders relax. The top of the shoulders will roll forward. This is called upward tilt, and the shoulder head rolls forward. And then if you were to take your hands off the ground, the shoulder blades would squeeze together. Now press the hands down into the ground, press down into the fingertips. And imagine that you're trying to straighten the arms and move the shoulder blades apart. So we're not necessarily gonna go very far, that's okay. Just starting to find that engagement. Press down, hug the shoulder blades down. Start to move them apart just a little bit. And then relax. On all fours, if you're here, soften the elbows a little, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then work to do the opposite. Can you, without moving, press into the hands like you're trying to extend the elbows, straighten the arms, and can you, when you press into the hands, isometrically, or try to move the shoulder blades apart, can you hug them down at the same time? So take 2 more breaths, kind of playing with where you're at, whether you're on all fours or whether you're on your belly, it's the same action. I'm just trying to turn some of those things on. And then take an inhale. And as you exhale, either lower onto your belly and just take a break, or press back to child's pose. Just taking the weight off of the arms. And then you can come to sit for just a moment once you're ready to do so. So bring your palms together, like you're coming into Anjali Mudra, right? So just let the hands come together. And can you grip the fingertips together? So press down into the pads of the finger. Press, 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 like you're trying to win what are those called? Thumb wrestling things. Battles. It's a fun battle to play with your kids. Build the strength in your hands, squish theirs. Not really. So press into the pads of the fingers and see if the fingers will bend, but this knuckle here will stay flat together. Come a little bit closer so you can see. Palms are together, fingertips are together. So as my knuckle stays together, my fingers press together, but my fingertips start to bend. Just building the strength. What will happen is if you push too far, the whole hand will come apart. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Cool, now release. Now do this fun little thing here, ready? Imagine that you're shooting a basketball. You know this thing, like you're an NBA player shooting a basketball? Imagine that action with the hands, with the fingers. That's flexion at the wrist. That's the action we want when we do chaturanga. So you're not actually going to push your fingers through the ground, but what you're trying to do is lighten this, right? And build enough strength so that you can find balance. This is the foundation for arm balancing and for handstands and that kind of stuff. You have to feel comfortable enough to push the weight into your fingers. And the only way to do that is to trust that you have the strength in the fingers or the muscle memory in the fingers to push back. So it's just kind of like, so let's come on to all fours first. Maybe a long all fours. So if we're a little bit long in all fours, as if we were in kind of a modified plank, can you grip into the fingertips and press the knuckles down? And can you get the heel of the hand to lighten just a little bit? And then from this place, let the shoulders come forward. So you're gonna get a pretty big stretch in the forearms here. So I'm not gonna ask you to do this, maybe when we're back together I will, but what you're looking for is you're looking for this block to come up to the wrist. This is something you can play with, and not have it touch the wrist or touch the forearm. So my arm comes in front of it. That is the position for chaturanga. So now we're forward. Can you start to bend the elbows and resist by pressing into the hands as if you're trying to straighten? And as the shoulder blades squeeze together, can you press and try to move the shoulder blades apart? And then maybe you lower an inch or two. Maybe you lower to here and see what that feels like. Then draw the shoulder blades down, press into the earth, try to move the shoulder blades apart, and keep pressing to resist the downward movement. And press back, circle out the wrists a little bit. So you can continue to play there if you're like, okay, not sure. Want to do that a little bit more, or you can come to plank. So plank just means more weight. Same thing, slide forward, bend and lower, take a pause, press, 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 press. And maybe bring the knees down. Maybe circle out the wrists and do it a few times. So the idea here is that you're pressing. Gravity wants to make you bend your elbow and drop forward. Gravity wants your shoulder blades to squeeze together, right? And so what you're doing is you're resisting gravity by trying to straighten the arm and move the shoulder blades apart. Now, they might not move. That's okay. It's okay that they don't like come sliding across your back. Those are the muscles you're using to resist the falling on your face. They're the same muscles you're going to use to resist the falling on your face in arm balancing. Okay, so let's move through down dog, plank, chaturanga to the belly, and then we'll come table, down dog, plank, chaturanga to the belly. Let's do that 3 times. So it will look like we come from down dog, we roll forward into a good plank, fill up the upper back, bend and lower, knees come down, all fours, back to down dog. So don't worry about the back bend or anything. Come forward, plank, fill up, look forward, slide, bend, knees come down, you're done. Back to all fours, back to down dog. Let's do a couple of those. Let me see those, Anya. Plank, chaturanga, knees down, down dog. So see if you can find in your practice the strength that we've been talking about, right? Like engaging those muscles and finding your inner strength. It exists, I promise. Yeah, and if you're really trying to challenge yourself and build strength, you might go plank, chaturanga, plank, down dog. Right, so you might lower and then press back and then come back to down dog. That's fine. That's a fun little drill to work on building your strength. We'll take one more pass through here. And then meeting in down dog. And pedal out one foot and then the other. And then inhale as you look forward. You can step or hop the feet wide. So think as wide as the mat. Turn the heels in slightly, the toes out slightly. This we call malasana, squat. The hands come in front of you. Maybe the elbows come to the inside of the legs. Yeah, do that if you can. And then hug the elbows with the legs. Engage the inner leg line. And can you press down into the heels just like 5% of your effort? Just turning on the gluteal muscles. And slowly releasing. Hands can come down. That's what I meant by releasing. And now let the hips lift, toes turn forward. Maybe wiggle out a little from side to side. So I'm going to teach you a beginner version of, well, it's not necessarily a beginner version, but it's a nice way to learn crow. It's also a nice way to up-level your crow. So I'm going to use a block. So if you have a block, cool. If you don't, it's okay. Sometimes I use like, you know, the step stools that we use for the little step stools that we use for our kids to brush their teeth. Sometimes I use those. If you have a block, you're going to bring both feet onto the block like it's a perch. And I'm going to show you 2 different variations here. One is just, okay, I've never got my feet off the ground before, I've never put my weight in my hands. So I'm not really sure what to do. So I'm going to bring my hands out in front of my feet. You can let the knees kind of splay out to the side, press down into the pads of the fingers, down into the knuckle, right? Find that strength that we just used. And then hug the knees in towards the back of the arms. They might not go up real high, that's okay.
Then lean forward. Toes can stay on the block, or toes might come off the block. This is kind of a really collapsed crow, right? Because you're really low. And if you're not hugging in, you're probably gonna just kind of feel a lot of weight in the back of the arms. The way to up-level your crow, or to get it a little bit lighter, is to hug the knees in. And can you get the knees way up, like towards the armpits even? Walk the hands in a little bit closer. And then really work to straighten the arms. Really press away, really hug in with the knees. Squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze the knees together. Yeah. Trust the fingers. Press with the fingers to, nice. And then if you're like, I don't have a block, or I'm not doing this with a prop, the cool thing about our legs is they straighten and they bend. So you could do this on the ground, hands can come down. You could lift the knees, straighten the legs a little, lean in a little. And trying to get, the idea is trying to get both feet to come off at the same time so that you don't have this weird like weight shift thing that knocks you over. So leaning forward, you can only lean so far before the feet start to lighten on the ground. Keep leaning, keep pressing. And if you're terrified, stack some pillows in front of you. Then if you go anywhere, you're just gonna like, head's gonna come down on the pillows. Yeah, cool. And I'll teach you lots of other arm balances too. I love them, but this is kind of the foundation. That arm work, that chaturanga, is the foundation for arm balancing. So once you've decided you've had enough of that, you'll come to sit in Upavishta Konasana, wide-legged fold. Wide angle, Upavishta Konasana is fold. So let the hands come in front of you first, lift through the spine. Find a little anterior tilt, so you're rotating from the pelvis, and then see if you can fold forward. On the next inhale, lift back through the spine, like halfway. So you don't have to come all the way up, but can you lift halfway? Find a little bit more anterior tilt. Send the booty back a little bit more like J-Lo. And then can you walk towards your right leg? Maybe you come to here. If you're way inside the leg, that's okay. Maybe you come so your hands one on either side of the leg. Can you get a little bit longer through the left side? Think about length from outer hip to armpit. And then can you reach the left arm across to the outside of like the pinky side edge of the foot. You might take a fold here. But even if you're folding, can you grab the foot and pull back and then resist by pushing away with the toes? And we'll inhale as we slowly come halfway up once again. So just so we don't have to reset the pelvis. Maybe come back to that anterior tilt a little bit more. Now walk over to the left side. Again, maybe you're inside the leg and that's as far as you're going. Maybe you have one hand on either side of the leg. Or maybe you're walking a little bit further, getting a little bit more into that right side body, right hip to right outer armpit. Walk the hand across. Maybe you're grabbing the pinky side edge of the foot. You might notice very quickly that one arm seems shorter than the other. One side's a little bit more open. Again, pulling back with the hand and pushing, resisting with the foot. And releasing, we'll slowly come back to center. Finding Agni Stambhasana, so whichever foot you want to draw in first is fine. We're just doing one side and then the other. When you draw the top leg in, hug it in first, let the foot come across. So I have my knee hugged almost into my armpit, then you let the foot come across the thigh bone, then come into the pose. Otherwise, we do a lot of strain on the ankle, and we don't want that. Our ankles aren't that strong. So take that, the sits bone of the top leg, so it's my right leg's on top, send my right sits bone back. Get a little bit taller here. So again, a little bit more anterior tilt. This might be it. Once the sits bone goes back, once you find anterior tilt, you might be like, oh, hi, how's your hip? Or you might be like, actually, I want a little bit more. You can take a fold forward. Or you can come towards the foot on that front of that top leg. Maybe use your hand to press the top knee away. Maybe you're looking for some hip flexor activation and you press your hand down and you push back into the hand with the leg. As the torso comes towards the foot. All sorts of things you can play with here. You can put your hand under the knee and press it down into the hand and resist with the hand. And slowly release back through center. Switch the cross of the legs. So the leg goes on the top is now on the bottom. Bring the other knee in. Give yourself a little squeeze. Ankle bone comes across. So on this side, I'm much tighter. My knee naturally just kind of hangs out up here until I send the sits bone back and I anterior tilt. Now, even though I probably could fit a fist underneath there, now I'm going to use the strength of the outer hip. I'm going to press the knee down with the strength of my leg. Cool. So the more I press down with my knee, the more I want to press down with my foot. And you might stay right here. That might be enough. Woo. You might take a fold. You might fold towards the front foot. Add a little twist. Add a little resistance. And slowly come back through center here. Again, coming back and crossing. You can come to the length of your mat in order to be in that direction. Come to lay down. And we'll find a half happy baby first. So take the left knee, let it swing out to the side and grab the left foot. So left hand comes across the top of the foot, grabs the pinky side edge of the foot. And then I'm going to pull back with the hand until the knee starts to come towards the ground on the left. Now, my hips are not very open today, and that's okay. So in order to get my knee down, my right hip comes way up, and then I'm going to press back into the right heel. I'm going to create a different sensation over there. I'm going to let my knee pop up a little bit, and then I'm going to pull down through my left hand and kick back with my left foot. And then just to add one more factor, I'm going to try to swing my knee out to the side. So I'm going to try to externally rotate the foot a little bit more. I like to take my right hand across to the outer, like over the top of the heel into the outer heel, so that I can let my foot rotate. And then I use my hand to press the left knee out a little bit more because this side needs a little help. So now my toes are pointing back towards you guys. And then maybe I use the strength of my hip flexor, the strength of my thigh to pull my knee towards the ground. Come back through center, release that one down, come to side number 2. So right leg comes in, knee drops to the side. Right hand comes over the top of the foot, grabs the pinky side edge of the foot. And then maybe the right knee comes towards the ground. This happens to be the side that's much more open for me. So my right knee goes pretty easily towards the ground. I'm still going to press into the left heel to engage the left gluteals. And then maybe I can even pull back just a little bit. Take the left hand to the outer right heel. I'll take my right hand to the knee and like try to swivel the thigh bone. So I'm not just pushing the knee, I'm actually externally rotating the thigh bone a little bit more. Now my right toes are pointed out to the right. And slowly releasing back to center. Now you're going to take the loveliest happy baby you've ever taken, let both feet come in, hands come across the top, grab the outer feet. And then instead of trying to engage and swivel and move the knees, you just rock back and forth. Maybe kind of do whatever your body decides it wants to do. Maybe that's straighten the legs. Maybe it's not. Massaging up a little back, just a little. And releasing the feet when you're ready to do so. We'll take a spine twist of your, whatever your preference is for a spine twist. You can start by twisting to the right. So you might pick the hips up and move them to the left. You might have one leg straight, one leg bent, and both knees bent. Staggered or stacked or whatever variation works for you today. And slowly coming back through center. And letting the knees drop over towards the left. Again, in whatever variation you did on the first side, whatever works for your body. Slowly coming back through center when you're ready to do so. And adding in any final poses that might work for your body this morning. And then eventually finding your way into your Shavasana, into your relaxation. And as you settle the body, just becoming aware once again, remind yourself of your own inner strength. Whether that is the physical strength allows you to practice, or whether it is the emotional endurance that got you here today. You are strong. begin to draw some awareness back to your breath. Deepening the inhalation and the exhalation. Drawing some awareness back to the body. Noticing the body's connection to the earth, the air around you. And starting to add in some movements. Starting with smaller movements and graduating to larger movements. Eventually finding your way to a seated position. Bringing the hands to the heart. Taking a moment here. Noticing any colors that you may see behind the eyelids. And taking with you from this practice the mantra, I am strong, I am capable. And so anytime self-doubt or fears or insecurities arise throughout your day, throughout your week, come back to the idea, come back to the mantra that I am strong. And I am capable. And allow that to keep you grounded. Namaste.